Chapter 1.5, we're going to be modeling integers. Before we added integers, we're going to do the same, except now we're going to model them. One of the key words we need to know is additive inverse. Additive inverse. It basically means to add the opposite. Additive meaning add, inverse meaning opposite. Now, if you take an integer plus its opposite, plus its additive inverse, its opposite, it equals 0. An integer and its opposite equals 0. I'm going to kind of separate this with a line. And we'll give two examples. So for example, if I use 1 and negative 1. 1 plus negative 1, see, an integer and its opposite is 0. Let's try negative 3. If I take negative 3, an integer, and I add its opposite, the opposite of negative 3 is positive 3, that equals 0. 3 is the additive inverse of negative 3. So an integer and its opposite is equal to 0. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and model these two down below here. So if I have 1 and negative 1. One and negative 1. Let's see, so 1, that's a positive 1, so that's a big plus. And negative 1, that's a big minus. And those pair up. They basically cancel each other. And what are you left with? Nothing. 0. You're not left with anything. Let's try the other one. Negative 3 and 3. Negative 3 plus 3. Negative 3, those are negatives. 3 negatives. And then positive 3 plus 3. 1, 2, 3 positives. And notice positive and negative, they pair off, they cancel. These cancel, these cancel, and you have nothing left. It's 0. There's nothing left over. Okay, I just want to show you where we're going on this. Don't go too far down the paper because we're going to be doing two number lines down at the bottom. And I'm kind of sloppy, so I'm just going to box my problems in. Okay, here's the next one. Negative 7 plus 4. So I have 7 negatives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I have 4 positives. Positive 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So they pair off. And what do I have left? Right there. That's 3 negatives. So my answer is negative 3. So negative 7 and 4 is negative 3. There's more negative than there is positive. See that? There's 3 more negative. I just subtract. 7 take away 4 is 3. There's more negative. Negative 3. I'm going to save some room on my paper at the bottom, so I'm going to go up to the top here. So we have negative 3 and 5. So let's see, that's 3 negatives. 1, 2, 3. And that's 5 positives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so they pair off. That's 0. Negative 1 and positive 1 is 0. That's 0. That's 0. What are we left with? Positive 2. 2 positives. Positive 2 is your answer. And that makes sense. 5 there's more positive. They're different signs. 5 take away 3 is 2, and there's more positive. Positive 2. And I'm going to box that in. Here's the next example. Negative 2 and negative 3. So let's see, I have 2 negatives, 1, 2, and I have 3 negatives. 3 more negatives. So I'll just put them right over here. Well, I'll just put them right here. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so there's nothing to cancel. There's just 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 negatives. Our answer is negative 5. And so take a look. They're both the same sign, so just add them together. 2 and 3 makes 5. They're both negative. It's negative. So I'll box that in. Here's our next one, next problem. Example, negative 2 plus 4 plus negative 1. Now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to go ahead and put my negative, I'm going to count up my negatives first. See, this is negative, and this is negative. This is just like the symbol and, like the word and. 4 and negative 1. So don't think they cancel each other. So I have negative 2 and negative 1. So I have 1, 2, negative 2, and another negative. And then I have 4 positives. 4 positives. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. And these cancel. They come out to be 0. These add up to 0. These add up to 0. And you're left with this, which is just positive 1. Positive 1 is the answer. Because this is just 4 and negative 3. Negative 3 and 4 makes positive 1. Okay, this is how mine looks so far. And we're going to put 2 number lines down below here. So hopefully you have enough room, but put down the very bottom of your page 2 number lines going from negative 3 to positive 3. Negative 3 to positive 3. We'll do 2 examples over here. Okay, just from negative 3 to 3. And I put down start right here at 0 because that's where we always start from. So what we're going to do is model this problem on using a number line. So first of all, I start at 0. The first number is negative 3. This means I'm going to go to the left 3 spaces. So from here, I'm going to go this direction to there. What? Shh. Okay. You got to go take a bath. Is that one of my markers? Yeah, this is my marker. Okay. All right. So anyways, this is negative 3. So yeah, I went 3 spaces this direction. All right. From here, now I need to go 5 spaces. So I'll go 5 spaces this direction. So starting from here, I'll go 5 spaces. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll stop right there. So I went 3 this way, then 5 the other direction. So where's that leave me at? Right here. Right at 2. Matter of fact, the answer is 2. See, there you go. So negative 3 and 5 is 2. 5 take away 3 is positive 2. Okay, so this will be the last example we do. And notice I'm giving myself lots of space because I got 3 numbers. Negative 2 plus 4 and negative 1. Okay, so again, we always start at 0, and I'm going to go negative 2. So I'm going to go from here, I'm going to go negative 2. So I'm going to go this direction. Right, that's negative 2. Shh. Okay, then from here, I'm going to add 4. So I'm going to go the other direction. From here, where I left off at, I'm going to go 4 spaces. So 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, that's positive 4. And then from here, I go negative 1. So I go the other direction. So from here, I go 1 space. And if I look at where I left off at, right here, I'm done. That's it right there. There's my answer. My answer is 1. So if I go to the left 2, then to the right 4, and then to the left 1, I am at positive 1. The answer to this is positive 1. As a matter of fact, we did this same problem, and we demonstrated it using plus and minuses. This is a lot easier. Plus and minuses, we got 1, and using the number line, again, we got 1. So 2 ways of modeling the same problem. Okay, this is workbook page 10. Workbook page 10. And if you notice at the top of the page, or right here, it says take note. And there are 2 items for taking note. Basically, this is just definitions. Inverse property of addition, called the additive inverse, and then adding integers, if they're the same sign and if they're different signs. So where you find this is in your textbook. So you want to take out your textbook, put it on your desk, then you want to open up to chapter 1.5. So you go through, and on the left-hand side, or upper left corner, you'll find out what section. 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, and 1.5, dealing with adding integers. If you notice, there's 2 areas that are highlighted. It says right here in yellow, take note, and over here in yellow, take note. And if you look at this in your book where it says take note, and you look at your workbook where it says take note, you'll notice that these 2 match up. Inverse property of addition. Inverse property of addition. So you should be able to find your answers in here. So that is how you can complete these take note boxes by looking in your textbook. If you notice also, there's examples in here, and the examples show you just kind of like what I did, except they use boxes, yellow and red boxes, whereas I use simply pluses and minuses. Red, again, is negative, and their yellow is positive. So here's example 1 showing how to use a model like plus and minuses. And on the next page over at the very top, example 2 shows you how to use a number line and find your answer. Okay, one other note is that looking at the very front of the book, if you turn it over, the very first page, the inside cover, you look right here. If ever you need any assistance, you can go to PH School, that's what it is, PrenticeHallSchool.com, enter this web code right there, click go, and you can get a lot of tutorials. So there's a lot of videos that you can watch there. And if you look down here, it tells you even go to see page CA29 for a complete list of all these materials that you have, this extra stuff. So if I turn to CA29, it's in the front of the book, just right here, CA29, it will have all these codes that you can, if you want to look at vocabulary quiz, chapter test, chapter project, standards, whatever you want to look at, it's there. Okay, so go ahead and start completing page 10 and 11, workbook page.